Hello everyone, and this is BioPhoenix here, and today is going to be a pickup video for the month of July. And all I have to say about this month is that it has been pretty good despite the heat. It's been pretty awful here when it came to that, but other than all that type of thing there, everything else has been pretty good. Also, one other thing I have to mention here is since yesterday I actually watched the new Star Trek movie, Star Trek Beyond, and I have to say that movie was actually pretty damn kick-ass. I loved it a whole lot. And this is coming from someone who's not a huge hardcore Star Trek fan. I mean, I like the movies, but I never really got into the TV show for some reason. But either way though, I really enjoyed that movie a hell of a lot. I can definitely recommend it if you do like Star Trek after all. But anyways there. So before we get into the pickups, let's do some awesome shoutouts out there. Alright, so the first channel I want to mention here, in fact, this is a channel that was actually brought to me by Bossenberf, and that happened to be Novabug. So one of the things that he does do that's really awesome is once a month he does a special thing to help out other channels for the community called YouTuber of the Month, and yeah, I never heard of it before until recently, and I have to say it's definitely an awesome idea where basically someone will nominate other channels, and basically you vote in the comments, and whoever wins will be featured in the next one, and then they gotta nominate other channels. So it's like an ongoing thing, and it's awesome, and I love that. In fact, Bossenberf actually nominated me for this month, so I thought that was really cool of him to do, and yeah, whether if I win or not, it really doesn't matter to me, because the whole point of it is because it's just for, building up, more, subscribers or more viewers and all that kind of good stuff, which I think is awesome, so of course I gotta thank you for that, and of course, Novabug is definitely a great guy, because he also does do other stuff too, I think he does some, game challenges from, a lot of different games, like arcade games, and then there's also some from, old computer systems, which I always think is interesting, stuff like the ZX Spectrum and all that kind of stuff, because that's awesome. And he also does do general good discussions. In fact, I'm thinking about doing a response to one of them. I'll just have to get around to it there. But yeah, definitely a really awesome channel, and of course, I just gotta thank Bossenberg for nominating me. So the next channel that we have here is Rondo Mark 3087. Now this is another channel I found out fairly recently, and he does a lot of discussion videos. He does do a thing called Yay or Nay. I know he's done one on movie remakes, or ones for console wars, things like that. And of course he's also done a bunch of other different types of discussions. I know he's done top 10 favorite video game movies, or anything kind of like that. And of course he also does do pickup videos similar to me, where he actually picks up whatever games that interest him, and of course he talks about it, gives his thoughts on it, which I think is always an awesome thing to see more into pickup videos, because I like those types of pickup videos the best personally. But yeah, definitely a really good guy. In fact, yeah, he's just a really good guy that's fun to listen to. Now the last one here, in case you don't remember, I only make 3 shoutouts in these segments, but so the last one here is Lords of Plagues, which is a pretty badass sounding name. So he mostly does do lots of rants, and he also does a lot of music discussions. I know he's done top 10 favorite songs from the band Ghost, which is awesome because I love Ghost. I think they're great. And he's also done just a lot of any type of music related stuff, mostly metal there, because Lord of Plagues. I mean, I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty metal to me. But yeah, he definitely does a lot of metal that I also really like too, from ones that I've known. Because he also does talk about some that I've actually never heard of before, which is interesting. So yeah, definitely a really good channel, and of course that will be all for the shoutout segments. So like I said, give these guys some support. They're definitely some really good people out there. So anyways, with that being said, let's get into the pickups. Alright, so the first game we got here is a PS3 game, and it's the only PS3 game I got there this month, and it's a pretty awesome one, and that happens to be Sonic's Genesis Collection, which is quite possibly one of the best compilation discs you can probably ever get, because it pretty much has all the essential Sega Genesis titles that you need, and even plus some other random ones. I know it has obviously it has all the Sonic games, it has all the Phantasy Stars, yes, even including the one on the Master System, but you have to unlock it. But still, the fact that they have it in there is pretty awesome, because that game is amazing. And then of course there's also like, you know, like Ristar, there's like Shinobi 3, which is like my favorite Shinobi game. I believe there's Space Harrier as well. There's just like a shitload on here, and it's like amazing. Oh, and of course Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3. Like, you know, can't go wrong with that either. But like I said, if you really like Sega Genesis games, this is like highly recommended. It's like very like affordable, very like compact, and really like you just really can't go wrong. Like I said, like if you like Sega, you like Genesis, this is like essential. Either way though, this is definitely like one of my favorite compilation discs ever. I'd also put it up there with some of SNK's compilation discs, because those are also like really good and handy as well. But yes, can't recommend this enough. So now let's get into some PS4 games, and this one right here is one that has been pretty hyped up for a little bit, and that happens to be Song of the Deep, which, as you may know, it was actually GameSpot had like a hand in like advertising this game. In fact, some sites said they published it, but I don't see their logo anywhere. In fact, it seems like Insomniac published, but maybe they co-published it. But you know what? Whatever. The point is that this game, like when it came out, it's like, well, over here in Canada it was like $20, but even then that's still really cheap for a brand new game. But yeah, so this is like one of those games that came, as soon as it came out, it has like a really low price, which is kind of why I wanted it, because, you know, you really can't go wrong with that. And the game actually did seem quite interesting, but after playing it, it's really good. It's, like, I wouldn't say it's like amazing. I do think this game is a little bit overhyped, but it is good. If it reminds me of anything, it kind of reminds me of Blaster Master, which is pretty good, because I do like that game. That is a really fun game, and that's kind of what it reminds me of, but just it's underwater, and the atmosphere is really nice, the art style's really cool, the music's really relaxing. It's a really good game, but controls are a little bit slow, but I do kind of expect that for a submarine-based game, but it is still a fairly good game, especially for the price. Like, you can't go wrong with that. But yeah, either way though, for this game, I do think it is pretty good, but it is like not like amazing as what like GameStop is like saying it is, but it is fairly good. And also I did get the t-shirt as well, because it was like $10, so why not? But I should have worn it, but whatever. So the last PS4 game that we have over here is an indie game that got a physical release, and that happens to be Republic on PS4. Although what I used to think it was called Republic, but I don't know, that's just me being an idiot. But anyways though, so this is a stealth game. In fact, it's purely stealth, because in this game you can't attack anyone unless you use like pepper spray and such. And it actually makes it pretty intense. But the thing that makes this game also very interesting is the way how you maneuver around, because yeah, you take control of a girl, but at the same time you're using like this phone that can that has like this person helping you out, and you like hack into like security cameras, and that's how you like spot like you scout out with it and such, which is actually pretty interesting. I like it, and the story itself is very interesting as well. In fact, I'm not going to spoil it here though, but I'm at chapter 4 out of 5, because there's only 5 chapters in the game, but I'm at like chapter 4, and things are starting to get really interesting, and I really like it a lot. So yeah, anyways, another thing I really like about this one is, well, for one, when you, look up the info on, the guards in the game, like, sometimes they'll have, people that are, Kickstarters, people that kickstarted the project, which I thought was really cool and interesting. And, the other thing that's interesting is, when you pickpocket them, you get, obviously you can get some items, but there's, other things you can get, which are floppy disks, and all the floppy disks are other indie games. Like, for an example, there's one for Shovel Knight, there's some for Hotline Miami, then there's one for that one game, I can't remember the name of it there, but it's that Symphony of the Night style game, but you're using a Mexican wrestler. I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about, because how many games can you know with that description? But anyways, so you get those, you look at them, and of course the computer thing will tell you things about it, and it's pretty funny, and I like it. So the next one we have here is a PS1 game, and that happens to be The King of Fighters 99, one of my favorite fighting game series. And, well, This game is pretty good from what I've played. I mean, it is exactly what you would expect. It's a King of Fighters game, and it, uses, like, the teams and all the recognizable characters and all that good stuff. But one function that they did add in this game is the strikers. I think it was first in this one, or it could have been in the one before this one, I forget. But I know this one does use the striker mechanic, which was very interesting. I liked it. But the only complaint I really do have with this game is the sound quality is not the greatest, and the load times. Yeah, well, that's probably the biggest one, because I kind of expected there to be load times in this game, considering that a lot of, like, fighting games always have really bad load times. It's weird. But I did originally want to get this on the Dreamcast, because usually games that are also on the Dreamcast like this, like, usually do play a little bit better and a lot faster, but I'll still stick with this one for now. I mean, it still does play pretty good from what I've played. I mean, gameplay-wise, the game does, like, run pretty smooth. At least I think it found it run pretty smooth. And I also do like the fact that the backgrounds, like, they change between each round, at least with the outdoor stages. Like, sometimes it'll be, like, sunny, sometimes it'll change to rainy. It's pretty interesting. I like that. But, yeah, I'd still say for a King of Fighters game, it is pretty good, but it's not the best one. But it is definitely a lot better than fucking 12, because 12 is, like, fucking horseshit. But, anyways, though, despite that, I still think this was a really good King of Fighters game. Not the best one, but a pretty good one. But I do want to get, like, all the King of Fighters games, or at least all the ones that I can acquire, because some of them are kind of hard to come by, but that's why I really want to get that collection of King of Fighters games that they have on the Wii, because, just make things so much freaking easier. Now, we're going to get into the 360 stuff, and this is a game that I already kind of talked about in an earlier video. I'm sure you might know which one I'm talking about, and that happens to be Project Sylphy, Arc of Deception. Now, like I said, I actually talked about this game in that recent tag video I did. It was the $1 GameStop challenge, and I did not get this game for $1. It was like $1.99 because it was the cheapest thing I could find. But either way, though, that was still a really good video, by the way. I really liked that challenge. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, so now that I've actually played the game, and I only played very little of it, it's pretty interesting, actually. It's a 3D shooter, kind of like Ace Combat, which, by the way, I really like the type of, like, these kinds of games, but I don't play them a lot. Like, I shit you not, like, the only ones that I've played, like, I don't know what you want to call them, like, 3D flight shooters, I guess. See, I'm not entirely sure, but, like, the only ones that I've played was this, Ace Combat 5, and, that one game on the N64. I know it's, Aero Fighter, but I forget the subtitle of it. I just know it's not called Aero Fighter 64, but anyway, so, like, I don't play enough of those games, but I really do like them. I just don't play enough of them. But either way, though, this one, it's pretty good so far. I mean, the story seems not bad, and the gameplay is pretty fun. There's a lot of, like, intricate stuff you gotta do, but either way, though, I actually really like it. And the game's also pretty tough, too, because I died on, like I think, like, the 4th mission or something. Either, like, 4th or 5th, I can't remember, but either way, though, this is still, like, a pretty fun game, and considering how much I paid for it, like $1.99, can't go wrong with that. And what's interesting is that on the back it says it was from the creators of Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, but at the same time, the developer, like the main developer of it, was Game Arts, which, as you may know, Game Arts is the company that made the Lunar games, so, that's pretty dope. Now, the next 360 game here is a game that I haven't even played yet, because not only did I get it recently, but at the same time, I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit of a time sink, but you never know. And that happens to be Zoid's Assault. Yeah, Zoid's Assault, yes. Okay, I thought it was called Zoid Assault, but either way, though. Like I said, I can't see a whole lot, because I haven't played it yet, but one thing you gotta know is that, it's published by Atlas, and it's developed by Tommy. Now, Tommy is a kind of hit and miss company, but the fact that it's published by Atlas is really what got my attention. And of course, it's like a mech game, so I was like, oh, cool. So basically, from what I looked up, it's like a tactical game, like real-time strategy, where you use like mechs, or what is this called, Zoids. Because I know there's a TV show called Zoids, but I don't think this has to do with it. But I could be wrong. But either way, though, this does look pretty interesting, and I got it for, like, super cheap, so, like, if it sucks, well, whatever, not the end of the world, but either way though, it should be an interesting one. I mean, from what I looked up, it does look like a pretty interesting game, and I'll try it out eventually, and then maybe one day I'll do a review on it. So like I said, unfortunately I can't say a whole lot about it, but definitely does look like a pretty interesting RTS style game. Alright, now let's get into some Wii games, and this one right here is a shoot 'em up, so that's always interesting, and that happens to be the Monkey King. Now, believe it or not, before I continue on, this game is actually related to a series of games. I forget what the series is called, but I know for one thing is that the first game, or I think it was the first game, it was on the Master System, and it was called Cloud Master. So, yes, this game is actually related to that, so I thought that was actually kind of interesting. But, yeah, so the Monkey King is it's a side-scrolling shooter, and it has like a really interesting, like, Chinese style. I thought it was really interesting, and, one thing one really cool mechanic that they do have is that if you, like, turn, like, the Wii remote, like, because you play the game on its side like this, and if you turn it, tilt it like that, like, you can change the speed of the game, which is interesting. I do think that that's pretty cool, but this game is hard as fuck. Well, then again, even Cloud Master on Master System was hard as fuck, too, but yeah, this game is just pretty fucking hard. Like, I don't know, like it is a good shoot 'em up, but I do think it could have been a little bit better, because I do find that, like, the ship well, not the ship, but, you know, like, your dude on a cloud, on a yellow cloud, yeah, the Nimbus from Dragon Ball Z, yeah, like, basically, it moves really slow, and I think it could have been a lot faster, but I don't know, like, it's a really cheap game, and I do think it is a fairly good shooter. It's just ridiculously hard, but of course it is definitely pretty rewarding. I actually got to the third stage, believe it or not, and that was pretty insane. Now, as for the next Wii game, this is a game I haven't played, but I watched a friend of mine play it years ago, and it definitely looked like a lot of fun, and it is also from a developer that I do generally really like, and that happens to be No More Heroes. And as you know, this is a game from Suda51, just like, you know, stuff like Lollipop Chainsaw, and also there's Killer is Dead, Killer 7, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But, yeah, so No More Heroes, I haven't played it yet, but I definitely can't wait to do so, because I remember when I, watched a friend of mine play this one, it definitely looked like a lot of fun, and also the humor was, like, really, really funny. Like, you're using, like, a guy named Travis Touchdown, and he's, like, kind of like a pizza delivery guy, but he's also, like, an assassin at the same time, and then at the same time, he's also, meets up with this Russian spy chick thing, and I can't remember the whole thing about it there, but I remember this game being really fucking funny, just, you know, as you would suspect, because that's the thing I like about, Suda51, is that a lot of his games, like, even if they may not be, like, the greatest, like, gameplay ever, at least, like, the story in it will at least be off the wall and hilarious and all that kind of good stuff. So I always do appreciate him when it comes to that sort of thing. But yeah, this one definitely does look like a really good one, and I have heard that the Wii version is actually, like, a really good version, so hey, why not? But either way, though, I can't wait to get into this one. I remember, like I said, I watched a friend of mine play it, and it looked really good, but just never got around to it, and I finally found it, and, well, can't wait to try it out. Alright, so this next game over here is a PS2 game, and this is actually a PS2 game I found at a thrift store, and that happens to be Primal. And I've actually heard quite a bit about this game, but I didn't really know a whole lot about it. Other than that, a lot of people compare it to, what's that game called? Beyond Two Souls. In fact, it actually does kind of remind me of it in a way. But, yeah, I only played very little of this game, and it's not bad. I mean, I like the idea of the game because it's, you know, you use a chick, and you also use, like, this little, like, gargoyle-looking dude. And basically, you just gotta, like, adventure, solve puzzles, and fight monsters. It's all good shit, but I don't know. I mean, the story's kind of eh, and the controls are, like, a little wonky. I don't know. Like, I'm having a hard time getting into this game because, like I said, the story's not, like, all that great from the get-go, and the controls are really annoying to get used to. But other than that, though, the game does seem pretty good. I don't know, maybe it gets better later on. I'm hoping it does, but I don't know, it seems okay, and I like the idea of it, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, yeah. But either way, though, I only paid like fucking like $3 for this game, so I'm not gonna complain there. And also, one amusing thing is that the person that owned this game before, they put a Sims holographic sticker on the back for some whatever reason, which I thought was kind of funny. But either way, though, it doesn't seem like a bad game. I'm sure it does get better later on. I just gotta play more of it there. But from what I played at the beginning, it's kind of tedious and annoying and all that kind of stuff. But I'm really hoping it does get better. Okay, so the next game we got here is an original Xbox game, and it's a game I found at a thrift store, and it's funny, the last time I found a racing game at a thrift store for the original Xbox, the game was like utter garbage, but this one is not. At least, I don't think it is. I actually had a lot of fun with it. That happened to be Quantum Redshift, which is basically Microsoft's answer to F-Zero and Wipeout. And I have to say, this game's actually a lot of fun. I really like it from what I've played of it. So it has like a bunch of quirky characters, some pretty cool car designs. It also has some pretty interesting level designs. Unfortunately, the music in this game is not that good, but yeah, if there's one thing that they should have copied from, at least they could have gotten the music. But either way, though, despite that, this is actually pretty fun. I like the fact that you can like pick up items, you can like blow up each other and such. Yeah, I think that's a lot of fun. But yeah, it's just a pretty good casual, like, futuristic racing game. I don't know a proper way to describe it there, but I actually think it's pretty underrated, and the fact that I got it for, like, so little at a thrift store, I can't complain whatsoever. But yeah, definitely a very fun racing game. Alright, now we're going to be taking a look at two more games, and these last two games are both on the DS, and I haven't played them yet for two reasons, and they are, one, I got them recently, and secondly, they're both tactical RPGs, so meaning that they're very time-consuming, but I will eventually get around to them. But I do know a little bit of stuff about them to say some stuff about them, and the first one here is Luminous Arc, which is published by Atlas, and it was developed by Imageepoch. And in case you're wondering, Imageepoch is a company that made Stellar Glow, and that game is fucking fantastic. It's probably one of my favorite RPGs on the 3DS, but yes, this is actually one of their first games. I'm not sure if it's their first, but I know it's one of their first tactical RPGs, and it's a lot similar to it from what I've heard. It definitely looks very similar to it, and with that being said, as you know, I fucking love Stellar Glow, so I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna really like this one as well. I mean, like graphically, it looks like with like the character designs, it looks really nice. Graphics look nice, and from what I heard of the music definitely does sound really good too. So yeah, like I said, I can't say a whole lot about the gameplay though, but like I said, if you have played Stellar Glow or if you like tactical RPGs, I'm pretty sure you will probably like this one. Now, as for the last DS game, and like I said, it's a tactical RPG, and I haven't played it yet, so I can't say a whole lot about it, but I can say a little bit of stuff, and that game happens to be Valkyrie Profile Covenant of the Plume. Now, this is a part of the Valkyrie series, although I'm not sure if this is like an actual like mainline game, or is it like a spin-off, but I'm not entirely sure on that. I have to look that up, but either way, though, this game definitely did seem interesting to me because, you know, it's Valkyrie Profile. I really liked the first one, even though it was, like, ridiculously hard as hell. And the second one was, like, fucking amazing. I love that one. But I seem to be in the minority, though, where a lot of people like the first one better, but I actually like the second one better, personally. But, you know, that's just me. But either way, though, this one should definitely be interesting. I actually heard that the story in this one is a lot more, like, really dark and depressing, which should be interesting. Because I know, well, the first two games were not really, like, that, like, lighthearted. Like, they weren't really lighthearted, but they weren't really, like, super dark either. They were kind of, like, you know, it's your very average, you know, dramatical stuff, which is all fine and dandy. But this one definitely does seem very interesting storyline-wise, and like I said, I can't say a whole lot about it, though, but I definitely can't wait to get into this one, though. It definitely does look like a really good tactical RPG. Alright, so that's all the pickups I got for the month of July of 2016, and like I said, it's pretty good month, and of course I'm very happy with all the stuff that I have. It's very good stuff. But anyways, so before I do like the whole intro thing, I just gotta say that for next month, I'm gonna be up right after this video. I'm gonna be uploading a review, and that review is pretty fucking long, but it is something that has been a long time coming for me, so that should definitely be interesting. And then after that, I'm gonna be uploading an update video, which I will just leave everything up to that because it explains everything better. Because I'm doing this like off the cuff, where that was like I actually like tried to make it sound okay, but. Anyways, though, so from then on, I just want to give you guys some little bit of updates, and I don't know when the next time I'm going to do a live stream is, but I'll try and make time for that, and of course, I will try to get some video responses out, and there's been some requests I've been getting for top 10 lists. I just gotta get around doing those too, but either way, though, everything else is going to be quite good, so anyways, with that being said, thank you for watching and commenting, and have yourselves a great day.